Okay, let's go.
Hey everyone, and welcome. So, if you've ever felt completely buried by debt, or you're just sick and tired of living paycheck to paycheck, you've come to the right place. Today, we're breaking down Dave Ramsey's legendary 7 baby steps. It's a super straightforward plan that's all about helping you finally get control of your money and start building some real wealth. Let's get right into it.
So here's our game plan. We're going to start with that big mindset shift you need to actually make a change. Then, we'll walk through every single step, from getting that first little safety net in place, to attacking your debt, all the way to paying off the house, and finally, what it looks like to live in true financial freedom.
You know, before we even touch a single number or look at a budget, it all starts right here. It begins with a decision. This is that gut-level moment where you just say, that's it, I've had enough, and you are truly ready for a total money makeover.
And this quote just nails it, right? It's that emotional tipping point. You have to get so fed up, so disgusted with your financial situation, because that frustration, that's the fuel that's going to power you through everything that comes next.
Okay, so let's get into the first real action step. Now, step 1 might look small, but honestly, it's probably the hardest. Why? Because this is where you prove to yourself, right out of the gate, that you actually can change your habits and start winning. The goal couldn't be simpler. Save $1,000 and do it as fast as you possibly can. I mean, sell stuff you don't need, pick up extra shifts, deliver pizzas on the weekend, whatever it takes. The whole point is speed and intensity, to get that first win on the board and feel some momentum. And what's this $1,000 for? It's your buffer. It's the barrier between you and Murphy. You know, from Murphy's Law, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. We're talking about the flat tire, the kid who needs to go to the doctor. This little fund stops those small hiccups from turning into a major crisis that throws you right back into debt. And this is a really important distinction here. This money has to be cash. It has to be liquid. This is not an investment designed to make you rich. It's insurance. It's there purely to protect you. So you need to be able to get your hands on it quickly, but maybe not so easily that you're tempted to blow it on a Friday night takeout order. All right, you've got your starter emergency fund locked in. Now it is time to go on the offensive. This is where we get to the famous debt snowball, and we are going to start attacking your debt with some serious, focused intensity.
So here's how it works. It's pretty simple. You're going to list out all of your debts, everything except your mortgage, from the smallest balance to the biggest. You keep making the minimum payments on all of them, except for that little one at the very top. You throw every single extra dollar you have at that smallest debt until it is completely gone. Then, and this is the magic part, you take the entire payment you were making on that debt and you roll it onto the next one. You see, you're creating a debt-crushing snowball.
Now this next part, this is where a lot of people get tripped up. The plan is very clear. You need to temporarily stop all retirement investing during this step. But wait a minute, what about the company match? That's free money, right?
Well, here's the thing you absolutely have to understand. Personal finance is like 80% behavior and only 20% head knowledge. The math says, yeah, pay the highest interest rate first. Vulcan logic says to take the 401k match. But this plan isn't for Vulcans. It's for human beings. We need to see progress to stay fired up. Knocking out that first small debt gives you this huge psychological win that keeps you in the game for the long haul.
Okay, once you're totally free of all consumer debt, no credit cards, no car payments, no student loans, you can finally take a nice deep breath. Now we're going to build on that little starter fund and create a real financial fortress, one that can handle the big stuff life throws at you. We're kicking Murphy out of the house for good.
So the big question is, how much do you need to save? Well, it really depends on your situation. If you've got a super stable job, a solid income, 3 months worth of expense is a great goal. But if your income is all over the place, maybe you're in sales or you're self-employed, you're going to want to shoot for a full 6 months. This isn't just money in the bank, it's genuine peace of mind.
All right, let's recap. You have 0 debt, and you have a fully funded emergency fund sitting there. You've officially switched from playing defense to playing offense with your money. Steps 4, 5, and 6 are where you start building serious wealth. And the key thing to remember is that you work on all 3 of these at the same time. So these 3 are your new focus. You're putting a healthy 15% of your income away for retirement, you're starting to save for your kids' college funds, and you're throwing any extra money at the mortgage to get that paid off early. Now to see just how powerful this is, let's look at a quick case study.
So let's meet John and Jane.
They both start with the exact same income and the exact same amount of debt. John does what most financial advisors would tell him to do. He starts investing a little bit right away while just making minimum payments on his debt. But Jane, she follows the baby steps. She pauses investing completely so she can focus with laser intensity on getting her financial life in order.
And just look at how fast Jane makes progress. Because she's so focused, she gets that starter fund in just 1 month. 5 months in, the credit card is gone. In less than a year, her car is paid off. And in just a year and a half, she has a fully funded emergency fund. That intensity has now freed up her single most powerful wealth-building tool, her income.
And here is the jaw-dropping result down the road. Even though Jane started investing 18 months later than John, look at this. She ends up with almost $1.4 million more by retirement. How? Because once her debts were gone, she had way more money to invest, year after year, for decades. Now this usually brings up that one big myth that keeps people from paying off their houses, the mortgage interest tax deduction. You've heard it, right? People think it's a smart financial strategy to keep a mortgage just so they can get a tax break.
But let's just break down the math real quick. Say you paid $10,000 in mortgage interest for the year, and let's say you're in a 30% tax bracket. That'll save you $3,000 on your taxes, which sounds nice, but you had to send the bank $10,000 just to get $3,000 back from the government. You're still out $7,000. It makes absolutely no sense to spend $1 just to save 30 cents.
And all of that, it brings us here. The final step, the one we've all been working for. You are now completely 100% debt-free, and that includes the house. Your wealth is growing like crazy. This is the ultimate reward. This is why you did all that hard work. See, when you really get down to it, there are only 3 things you can do with money. You can have fun with it, you can invest it to make more, and you can give it away. And at this stage of the game, you get to do all 3 in a really big way. This is the payoff. This is your reward. And that really is the promise of this whole thing. You chose to live like no one else for a little while. You made sacrifices, you were disciplined, you stayed focused, so that you can spend the rest of your life living and giving like no one else can.
So there it is, the complete roadmap, from being stuck and broke to building lasting generational wealth. The path is clear, it's simple, and it's been proven to work time and time again. So really, the only question left to ask is, are you ready to start your total money makeover?